Set in glamorous late 1950s New York City, Pillow Talk is a romantic comedy about two complete strangers whose lives become hilariously tangled because they are forced to share a party telephone line. Jan Morrow, a sophisticated and independent interior decorator, prides herself on living a respectable, orderly life. She enjoys her work, her elegant apartment, and the quiet privacy she values in a big, bustling city. However, that privacy is constantly disrupted by one infuriating problem: her shared telephone line. On the other end of the same party line is Brad Allen, a charming but carefree songwriter and notorious playboy. Brad spends much of his time composing music and entertaining a steady stream of women, frequently using the shared phone to flirt, sing, and whisper sweet nothings. His romantic conversations constantly interrupt Jan's work calls and peaceful evenings. Jan quickly grows to despise the man she has never met. Every time she picks up the phone, she hears Brad charming another woman or singing romantic songs. Furious at his arrogance and constant interruptions, she repeatedly argues with him over the phone. Their conversations turn into sharp, witty verbal battles, with Jan calling him selfish and immoral while Brad mocks her uptight attitude. Their rivalry becomes personal when Jan begins dating Jonathan Forbes, a wealthy and somewhat stiff businessman who also happens to be Brad's close friend. Jonathan admires Jan's elegance and independence and hopes to marry her, but he quickly realizes she's emotionally guarded and difficult to impress. Meanwhile, Brad becomes intrigued by the mysterious woman who constantly challenges him on the phone. Instead of being annoyed, he finds their arguments exciting. When he finally sees Jan in person one day, he's immediately captivated by her beauty and intelligence. However, Brad quickly realizes that if she discovers who he really is, she will never give him a chance. To win her over, Brad creates an elaborate deception. Pretending to be a shy and innocent man named Rex Stetson, a wealthy Texas rancher visiting New York, Brad approaches Jan in a completely different persona. Rex is polite, respectful, and somewhat naive, the exact opposite of the arrogant playboy Jan believes Brad Allen to be. Jan is immediately charmed by Rex. She finds his gentle manners refreshing and begins to lower the emotional walls she keeps around her heart. Brad carefully plays the role, speaking with a soft Texas accent and behaving like a gentleman who admires Jan rather than pursuing her aggressively. As their relationship grows, Brad begins to fall genuinely in love with her. What started as a playful trick slowly becomes complicated as his feelings deepen. At the same time, Jan begins to open up emotionally in ways she never expected, believing she has found a rare and sincere man. However, Brad's double life becomes increasingly difficult to maintain. Whenever Jan argues with the real Brad Allen on the phone, she unknowingly complains about him to Brad himself while he continues pretending to be Rex in person. The situation leads to a series of comedic misunderstandings and increasingly tense moments where Brad nearly reveals the truth. Jonathan Forbes eventually begins to suspect something is wrong and discovers Brad's deception. Furious that his friend has manipulated Jan, and jealous of Brad's growing relationship with her, Jonathan threatens to expose everything. Eventually, Jan learns the truth about Brad's identity and the elaborate lie he constructed to win her affection. Feeling humiliated and betrayed, she is deeply hurt that the man she trusted was the same irresponsible playboy she had despised all along. Brad must now prove that his feelings for Jan are real and that he has changed from the selfish man he once was. Through a series of heartfelt attempts to win back her trust, he finally shows Jan that behind the deception was genuine love. In the end, the witty rivalry that began over a shared telephone line turns into a passionate romance, as both Jan and Brad learn that love often arrives in the most unexpected ways. The film blends sharp comedy, romance, and clever dialogue, capturing the glamour and social culture of 1950s New York while exploring themes of honesty, trust, and emotional vulnerability. Pillow Talk became a classic romantic comedy known for its playful battle of the sexes, memorable performances, and its charming portrayal of two very different people discovering that they are perfect for each other.